think if black is the moon, black is the melanin in my skin. I'm still healing from wounds, so Lord forgive me if I sin. I can't help but choose violence on the daily. I'm him, I refuse to lose, so don't make me repeat it again. When I reunite the culture, the vultures are not impressed. Dropping bombs on them like I'm obsessed. Kill them off with no emotion, like I got a hole in my chest. I'm the king and I'm taking the crown back to the west.
Come again, you the king? Nah. You need to turn your sound down. Putting rap on your back. Please. You just snatching crowns now. You know my big bro cold. Could've beat your ass around town. But I'm the wolf at the door, so you dealing with me now. Why they came back around? Cause this boy got a loud mouth. He got the bag now, but that's nothing to brag about. Sound blast in the background, in the cut like I cut pounds. You in uptown, I'm from down south. I smell fear like a bloodhound. Why the hell your drawers looking so brown? Put that crown down, I'm liable to crash out. If they don't give me mine, hit you with my streamline. Send my 50 times. The crown ain't yours, but yo, I can't blame you for trying. Big bro showed us the way, and now I'm making sure I'm next in line. Y'all think you're deep? I need the crown like I need to breathe. I need respect, I got people to feed. I get that W by any means. Of course, the king, I do not disagree, but understand I'm out of your league. Enough is enough. You think you up next? Please, I roll you up like I'm smoking some trees. Make me too mad and I'm making you bleed. If they try running, I'm breaking their knees. I made them fall like some autumn leaves. I'm not the king yet, but I'm planting the seeds. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I do not stutter. There's no in between. If I enter the ring, then I'm making a scene. Then I'm making them scream.
Hello, you beautiful peoples. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all, to another jam-packed, exciting, over-the-top episode of the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan, the show where we watch Kamen Rider ZETZ simulcasted live every week, and then afterwards we predict what's going to happen next time, discuss about the show, and so on and so forth. I am your host, the mercenary with the kicks, coming to you from 2286, call sign Henshin. I hope you guys had a wonderful week as we wait here for another installment of our adventures with Baku and his sister and the Paranormal Division and Zero and all these people. This is what we look forward to every week. This is the big times. You understand me? This is the joint. This is the goodness. This is what we're here for. We are here to embrace the madness that is Kamen Rider Zets, but it's a good kind of madness. Don't get me wrong, it's a good kind of madness. So I hope you guys are ready. I'm excited. This is literally what I wait for all week. This is the highlight of my week. And soon it's going to get even better because tomorrow is a big event, but we'll touch on that at the end of the show. But this is looking to be a very exciting weekend. A very exciting weekend. So I hope you guys are locked in. I hope you are ready. I hope y'all are as excited as I am. Before we get started, let me go ahead and post the link to the main Tokusatsu channel, so y'all know where to find it. Be sure to get that in the pins. Let's go ahead and get that. Yeah, 40 minutes. There we go. And same over here. Get that in the chat for y'all. All right, there we go. So make sure you guys have the main feed up right now. Make sure that you are there. Make sure you are available. Make sure you have that up. You can leave the stream if you want to. I would just appreciate it if y'all come back when the show's over to come back and let's talk about what we saw today. So by all means, I don't mind y'all leaving. I do not mind. If you want to keep me up in the background while you're watching for a little live commentary, you can do that. But ultimately, you don't need to stay here, but you need to go to the Tokusatsu feed, because remember, they need the numbers more than I do. They need to because we need to let them know we love this stuff, right? That's why they need the numbers. You got to show them that this is what we live for. This is what we're all about. So by all means, if you're not over there right now, you need to be right now, showing them that this is what we're all about. Showing them that this is what we live for, baby. This is Tokusatsu, and we support it. Gotta let them know. Gotta let them know. So, I do want to touch on something a little bit personal. Not like deeply personal, just something that will affect the stream going forward. With what's going down tomorrow. Next week on the stream, we still don't know what's going on with Metal Heroes. Let me just preface with that. So we don't know. But next week, there's going to be a slight visual change to the streams. Nothing crazy. Like, we're not going to, like, overhaul. Like, we're not, all of a sudden, we got backgrounds and stuff. No, we're not doing that. Because that'll come at a later date. But I do want to let everyone know that next week, there's going to be a slight visual change in a few areas. Because as it stands right now, we are currently upgrading our systems to run on a different operating system, one that they call Linux. The reason why we're doing that is we want to see if it is better than having to use this archaic Windows system, because we had to find that in order to run our systems here for maximum compatibility, but we want to see if it is possible for us to update to a more let's say a more, I don't want to say comprehensive, but very much a more open-ended operating system, which might allow us to do more things. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but we want to see if that's going to happen. So next week, some things might be rearranged or everything, because we will need to rebuild the layout. So some things will change, some things will stay the same. But that's next week, because again, we want to see if in fact, Linux is the way we want to go. So this is us kind of doing a little feeling out process here. You feel me? So ultimately, we're not so we want to see if that works. So that means next week, you may also see some impromptu streams on Twitch and on the gaming channel or on the main channel. We might do them on the main channel. So you will see some impromptu streams from us as we're testing things out. But ultimately, big things are changing with next week. I will touch on those at the end of the show, but in terms of our schedule, things are possibly going to change depending on what we find out in regards to Metal Heroes, aka Project Red, aka Gavan Infinity. When we find out more about that, then we'll see how that will overall change. But for the most part, things are going to change. Things are going to be changing. So, without further ado, let us head over to the cinema. With only a few minutes remaining, about 4 minutes. If you don't have the main feed up, bring it up now. Make sure that you got that all set up in NAS. Let's go ahead and... where'd you go? I do not see you here. Where are you? I have to relaunch the window. I don't know why it's not picking up the window, but it's not picking up the window. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. There we go. Perfect. All right. For those of you who are new here, just a quick clarification. The reason why the feed is blurred is copyright reasons. We've gotten a copyright strike from Toei before. We want to avoid that. So any semblance of the theme song or the show itself is blurred, but we still put it up so you guys can get like a general idea of where we are in the show. If you decide to like go back in the VOD and then like sync it up with the episode so you can hear our commentary going live, right? So you can do that. That is an option. But for the most part, we still play the show audio, so you can kind of also get a better idea of where we are. But it's just so you guys can, like, you know, pick up what we're putting down, so to speak. Well, I'm going to clear my nose real quick. All right, there we go. All right. Let's go ahead and get this full screened. And there's a ladybug on my monitor. What the heck? All right, let's get that out of there. Let's go ahead and get this full screened. And bring you back up. All right. So we are ready. We are just 1 minute away. So if you do not have the main Tokusatsu feed, go to the pin link in either streaming service. Go there. It'll take you to the main Tokusatsu feed. And from there, we should be able to proceed. And then from there, you can watch the episode either with me in the background or not. It's up to you. Your choice. I'm not here to, like, pull your alarm. I don't mind if you leave the stream. I just care that y'all come back at the end so we can talk about what we just witnessed. I do like to have the live reaction here for posterity's sake. But you can easily just, if you can leave the stream and then come back and we'll talk about what we witnessed. That's what we do here on the show. That's what we do here. So, let's go ahead and start winding down the music here. Here we go. All right, here we go. ZEZTZ episode 21. He is the Baku of Yorozu.
という夢を見ている普通の高青年だ。村人を恐怖に陥れるモンスターの拠点を制圧するミッションの遂行中。
I hate that he didn't give himself a proper name as an NPC.
今や悪夢はつながっている。一人から群衆へ。
From one person to a throng, from a throng to an epic bad dream.
一人じゃない。
I love. How much do you think that cave gets play in Toku? That particular cave.
村人へ、なんだよその格好。
とにかくこの夢はいつもとは様子が違う。ナイトメアを一体倒すだけじゃ悪夢が終わらない。
Oh, he's already. Oh, we're just going right into the intro. Okay, just. Okay, that has to be the fastest cold open I've ever seen. They don't want to waste no time here. That's crazy. Like we're not doing the drawn out cold open. We're just going right into this show. It looks like they need the extra time to tell the story, which, you know what? I'm not going to complain for extra time. Like, not at all. You give us a little bit more episode in there, we would appreciate that. Hell, you could have just given us a straight, like, just the logo and then into the show. You could have done that, and that would have given us even more time. But again, I'm not here to like criticize creative decisions here. I'm here to watch a damn good show. That's what we're here for, folks. So it goes into saying that, like, he can just, there's literally a swarm of monsters, a swarm of nightmares, so he's gonna have to take them all out. So begs the question, how he do that? How he do that? How he gonna do that? You know? Like, what's the game plan here? Also, have you noticed that, like, the dreams tend to work on a Phoenix Wright style schedule? They always take place within 3 days, and always it's normally on the third day that the nightmare gets resolved. Y'all never notice that? Like, they're following Phoenix Wright rules, like the 3-day trials. Like, they're following that exact formula to a T. It's crazy. Capture the enemy's base. Ooh! Oh! He was just playing decoy! Oh, damn! Turn the tables on him. There we go. Warp manipulation. Nope. He doesn't let go until his target's dead. That's a hell of a way to put it. That's a hell of a way. That's dedication. I use gun. Prepare to meet God. Damn! Just waved it off. Number 5, baby. Hit him with the mumbo.
こしゃくな。コードが考えそうなことだ。
バレたか。
俺に挑むとは偉くなったな。コードナンバー5。
先輩面すんなよ、組織の裏切り者が。ナイトメアで何を企んでやがる。
ぶち壊すんだよ。お前たちコードが歪めた世界をな。
The one that code twisted. Damn, they just outright saying it. Interesting. Uh-oh. Yep, day 3, baby.
夢主が複数だと。多分。じゃなきゃ同じ夢にナイトメアが何体も出てくるはずがありません。おそらく不特定多数の子供たちの夢が一つの世界でつながっているんです。
彼の推察を裏付ける証拠があります。
なんだ。
例の魔王の絵、描いていたのは渡壮太君だけじゃありませんでした。都内近郊の不特定多数の子供たちが似たような絵を。
Interesting.
ありえない。こんなこと。
ブラックケースの表情が。
Oh yeah.
この子は
Tomoko Taira.
覚えててくれた。やっぱりともこちゃんも同じ夢を見てたんだ。
同じ夢？
聞きたいことがあるんだけど、ちょっといいかな。この子たち知り合い？見覚えある？
Alright, doing some deductive work.
夢では会ったことあるけど知らない。
じゃあ勇者たちが旅する夢を見た理由、心当たりはないかな。
Interesting.
あ、ブロックリエイト今流行ってるよ。
Minecraft! God damn it!
ブロックリエイト。
ブロッコリエイト。
世界を作って旅に出よう。
Wait!
ゲーム？はい。子供たちの間で流行ってて、手作りのフィールドをブロックで作って。
It's fucking Minecraft! God damn it!
ブロックリエイト。
だから不特定多数の子供たちが同じ夢を見て。
Fucking Minecraft!
共通点はそれだけじゃありません。子供たちはみんな過去に自然災害の被害に遭った子ばかりだったんです。被害は豪雨、洪水、
Torrential rains, floods, earthquakes. What is happening? What do you mean they've all Okay, a kid involved with a volcano is very unbelievable. What the fuck?
愚か者ばかりの世界に生まれたことを悲しんで。
シェイクスピアの言葉か。
Oh damn, quoting Shakespeare? That's evil.
この世は皮肉。誰よりも恐ろしい悪夢を生み出すのは純真無垢な子供たち。
Oh, that's fucked.
彼と同じようにね。
すべては愚かな大人が招いたことだ。
きっと面白い。
Why does this sound like Disney villain music? What is this?
過ちはいずれ悪夢となって巡る。
This is some Disney villain music shit.
みんな災害に。
ああ。怖い思いをしたのは俺だけじゃない。
Wait.
みんな怖かったんだ。
Oh my god, wait. I just had a thought.
だからモンスターに立ち向かうゲームの夢でみんな戦ってたんだ。
Okay, hear me out. This might be a little bit weird. Whoa! Hold up. Hold on. Hold the phone.
バック。
でも大丈夫。俺が助けに行くから。
Alright, hear me out. What if Code was engineering those disasters?
寝るの早すぎるよ。カウンセラー？
Ah, looks like the sister's going on a little investigation of her own there.
あんたらは
モンスタ
どう見ても人間でしょ。
よくわかったな。
どう見ても人間でしょ。
コードに戻ったのか。どうして？
その力が私にあるから。ノックスはコードに復讐するために現実の世界を壊そうとしている。だから奴の拠点を潰す。
それはそっちのミッションだろ。
おい、無視すんなよ後輩。
俺は夢主を守る。 それだけだ。
Yep, this is the point where, like, he's a rogue agent, pretty much. Not full on away from the agency, but still, he's threading the line. He's threading the line.
実力は確かだけど。
これは世界をめちゃくちゃにする。
So technically, this monster would be the main villain. But okay, so if he's the main monster in the castle, then what the fuck are the fuzzballs? What the fuck are they? Yeah, there it is. All these doors make a circle. So my theory about that being like our BBEG of the whole show is starting, it's starting to have a little bit more strength to it.
みんなをここに連れてくる気。そんなことしたら。
その子を離せ。
In plasma. Hit him. The kid's gonna call him Kamen Rider, isn't she? Clearly they don't beat the monster, because clearly there's going to be an in-world invasion. Clearly. Is it?
抹殺されるのはお前だ。
Here we go, Lord Invokers. Knights versus Riders. Who wins? In the shadow of the castle. That's badass. On your mark? So it's not the Rider system, it's the Lord system. So these are common lords. Panic? Oh, that ain't good. I love how he punches through and she just stands there. Look at all the shiny spandex. Whoa, we're breaking reality. This is some weird played out thing they're doing. You are the hero! Bulge your sword! Brandish thine sword! Pull the Melina! Pull the fucking Melina! That's fucking great! That's so good. I love it. Oh, there. Okay, now 6 is getting into it. Oh shit. She going X Games. Execution. Suplex! 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 Come on, suplex him! Just take your time. All the time in the world. Charge shot! Now he... Man, the man just sacrificed him. God damn! I don't think Nox is dead. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, too late. It was part of the plan! Oh shit. That is a high-ranking nightmare, my friend. Nope, they lost it.
やっぱり本当にいるんだ。青だ。魔王だ。魔王。みんな見るな。
Nope, too late. It wasn't that he was destroying things, it was that the fact that he exists is the problem. Wait, who nailed him to the wall? Who? Damn it. This is not good. Nice, Yefik. Who nailed him to the wall? We need an answer to that question. Who fired the shot? What happened? Nope. Yep. That didn't kill Nox, but it did take a number on him. Interesting. You might want to look outside, my guy. Oh dear God. Okay, it didn't happen like before. They're changing up the methodology here. This isn't your traditional nightmare, that's the thing. This is something wholly different. oh shit. My boy was like walking fine and he started flopping. Yeah, I think Zero's getting disavowed for this. Or sorry, not Zero, 7.
Mission 失敗。コードレッド。緊急事態だ。
Uh-oh. God, I wish we knew more about what this lady's motivations are. I don't get it.
さあ、自由で美しい世界はもうすぐよ。
The problem is, what do you think is going to happen without code? I want to know your reasoning, lady. I want to know your reasoning. Oh, wait, hold on. Full on right. Wait.
あなたもとてつもない悪夢を見たんでしょ。クレアがお前の力をよこさ。
Revenge. Oh no, that's his form. That's it. Wow. Okay, so we are getting the mid show power up. Okay. Not what I expected. Not what I expected at all. But that definitely looks like he's powering his ass up. He's definitely getting that mid-seas. Getting his mid-season power up. All right. Let's go ahead and move back. Let's move back. Hello. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that episode. But big implication. This is actually a 3-parter. I wasn't expecting a 3-parter here. So, ultimately, this has gotten out of hand. Now, the first time it happened, you're terrified right now? Don't be. It's a show, man. Come on. You take this way too seriously, Dane. It's just a TV show. But my thing is, this is a different circumstance than before. This is very much a different circumstance. I'm sorry if I'm peeking there a little bit. This is a very much a different situation than what we're used to dealing with. For all intents and reasons right now, if you remember the first time this happened, Zero gave Baku some leeway. Remember, because he was able to sort that out in real life. The stakes have raised. Kureha dies. I don't think so. I genuinely don't think so. Fujimi was the first victim, now a group of kids. The problem is the stakes are higher because it is children. Because whenever they start introducing children into Kamen Rider, as a sense of, that's literally when shit gets real, right? The entire thing of the gravitas is now real. Because it's not just one person who got the nightmare. These are multiple kids formed into one nightmare. So the stakes have considerably been raised because now these are children's lives on the line. And on top of that, it's not just the children now, it's all of Japan at this point. Hell, even the whole world, if you want to get technical. They didn't show it happening to the whole world, but if you want to imply, yeah, the whole world's at stake, my guy. Like, the whole world is at stake. So, the things, they are happening. That's petrifying. Indeed, it is. But just looking at the preview, looks like we are going to take 6. But the thing I want to touch on, which obviously we're not going to get like a full clarification on, of something as horrible as a natural disaster. Actually, no, I hadn't thought about that. This thing is feeding off the nightmares of all of these children that suffered through natural disasters, so it would cause a massive natural disaster. See, that didn't click in my head. They're harnessing the powers of the elements to kill the whole world. That's a terrifying thought. But here's the big thing at large. Like, obviously that's gonna. I mean, obviously Baku's coming out on top on that. Like, we don't need, because he's getting the mid-season power up. That's what he's getting. But here's the big thing here. What is his status in code at this point? They've already established in this episode that his job is not to get to code, it's to protect the dreamers. That's his joint. So he's already kind of established himself as a rogue agent. Not gone fully rogue, not fully committed to leaving code behind, but still committed to the mission that was entrusted to him from Zero. So ultimately, he's playing either sides of the fence here. He's a code agent, but he's not a code agent. So ultimately, it comes down to what happens as of this point. He was Zero's favorite as well. The thing is, though, is I think this is what Zero wants, right? He's a wild card. He needed someone to be a wild card. Because I guess even Zero knows something's up with code. So the way I see it is, who didn't get any official training. He's a prodigy. That's what he is. But I think Zero needed someone to challenge the status quo, and Seven was his guy. And when you think about it, a lot of things that make up ZETZ, make up Seven, don't seem to line up with the other agents, right? Like, sure, he dresses like all the other agents, but obviously he's doing his own thing. But remember, the agents before him used the Lord system. He is not a Lord. He is a writer. Right off the bat, he's not the norm. And I think Zero anticipated this. Like, Zero planned this. He needed someone to play either side of the fence while still playing within Code's wheelhouse, but without going fully rogue, because at that point he's uncontrollable, but he still lives up to Code's, well, code, right? He needed someone that would work in and out of the boundaries of Code, because he knew his system from the inside was corrupted. He couldn't control Nox. Nox is a variable that he cannot control, and unfortunately is too into Rita of King Ojo Henshin. Nah, I don't know. But the thing is that he can't control Nox. Nox is fully out of the system. He can't seem to. He doesn't have any control of that. Seven, on the other hand, he's a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed dude, coming in fresh, but doesn't seem to stand up to the status quo like the other agents before him. Right? He's an, like, as many a writer in this past, he is an unknown variable. Think of him like Cooper Howard in Fallout. Like, he was the unknown variable that set back the destruction of the world, because the destruction of the world was planned in April of, I don't remember what was the exact year. I think it was 2068. But it got pushed to October. So it literally, because of the way Cooper acted, it ended up delaying the end of the world by about 6 months. Actually, no, I take that back. It was 2077, so he delayed the destruction of the Earth by years. He was the unknown variable in it all. Similar to Deno and many writers before him, ZETZ is not a variable. He is a rogue factor. In sense, this is why I kept calling him a rogue agent. He's still an agent of Code, but at the same time, he's operating under his own discretion. So he's gone full GoldenEye rogue agent. Bond was still MI6, but he started to operate outside of MI6 because it's what the mission required of him to do. So right here, we're looking at the same thing. Baku, for all intents and purposes, works in and outside the system. in order to save people. So right now he's kind of in the middle of this whole dark side code rivalry. He's smack dab in the middle. And both sides are kind of just letting him operate like unchecked. Right? So ultimately he got the same mission but viewed it as infiltrate the Nightmare Castle while they took as infiltrate the lady. Because he obviously is unaware of the woman in question. As far as he knows, that lady, that therapist lady, not related to what Nox is doing at all. Not related. Doesn't know a damn thing. So to him was infiltrate the castle was not the castle that they ended up infiltrating anyway. So you can also tell real quick that the way Zero operates and the way Code operates is different. Because remember, Zero gave Baku leeway and to defeat the Nightmare in real life, but didn't declare the mission failed. 3 immediately declared the mission failed and now is sending out the code red. Which kind of speaks more to that 0 is encouraging 7 to do, he's basically giving 7 more leeway because he believes in him. Right? So he operated outside of standard code protocol, but in this case, because now 3 is running the show, he's following official protocol. He was following official protocol, and because of that, 7 is kind of on he's on thin ice right now. I mean, he's right, but here's the thing, this same thing happened, but again, these circumstances are different. But I feel like if 0 was still in charge, he would have entrusted 7 with the full protection, right? He would have entrusted that whole thing. But I think there's also something else to mention, right? Who shot Baku? Who was the one who shot Baku and Nem and put them up against the wall? That's the big question. Because it wasn't the Demon King. The Demon King didn't do that. Someone shot him. Someone shot ZEZTZ and someone shot Nem and bound them to the wall with the shots. Who did it? Because it wasn't the Demon King. Was it someone on the Evil Lady side? Or was it someone from Code? Who did it? That's the big question. Wasn't it the Nightmare? I didn't see the Nightmare, lift a move at all. He just stood there and opened up, and the shot felt like it came from the side. I'd have to look at it again to be sure, but it didn't look like he was stanced up in a way that says, I just attacked you, right? I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like normally when you fire an attack, there's body language, right? He was standing still, arms down to his sides. That doesn't speak to me that he was the one that shot it. Right? That was odd. The way that was kind of set up. Also, we need to touch back on the implications of this monster. Right? We need to implication, because remember, that fuzzy monster, and by extension the Demon King, is a product of Nem's subconscious. So what does this tell me? This tells me that right now, we are possibly closer to Nem awakening more than ever. We're getting closer. Because if this is the monster that truly haunts Nem's subconscious, then defeating it would get her to wake up. The problem then becomes her body is in the dream world. How the fuck do you get it back to the real world? Dane, there can be more than one Demon King. And remember, this is not the same timeline as Zeo. So, yeah, Zeo as the Demon King does not exist in this particular timeline. That would be hilarious, though, if the monster just turned out to be Zeo. That'd be hilarious. That'd be interesting. I'd be like, where are you going with this? But, like, no. There can be more than one Demon King. Dude, there's so many Demon Kings in Japanese media. What, are you kidding me? You kidding me with that? So many Demon Kings, but he is the Demon King of... This Demon King is the Demon King of ZEZTZ. Let's just clear that up right away. But that does beg the question. Like, I need to, like, watch the clip again. It's, the episode is looping back, so I'm just waiting until we get back to see it. But as far as I saw, the Demon King did not have any body language that suggests, hey, I fired that. Maybe I missed it, which is weird because I was looking directly at the episode. I don't know how I could have missed it. But as far as I remember, my memory ain't the greatest, though. I will tell you that for free. I got the memory of a goldfish. But as far as I can recall, his arms did not show any movement, or his eyes did not have any, like, shine to them or anything that would say, hey, yeah, I did that. But the implication that this is Nem's demon. This is Nem's nightmare. So then what happens once it's killed? Because her body is still in the dream world. What happens if, like, her... Like, obviously when she wakes up, her dream version will not be there, but she herself will still be in the dream world. So that in of itself brings over a very interesting conundrum. Like, almost like a paradox, if you will. Right? Because at that point, what are we doing? Like, what does it mean? Like, if she wakes up in the dream world, does it become a paradox in and of itself? You know? Like, what does it mean? Right? Like, are there consequences for a real human being in the dream world and not their dream self? Is there actual consequences for that? Like, what is the, not the over-under. What is the lore behind that? Because obviously, they haven't given to that, obviously, but if you guys had to suggest, right, if you had to, like, kind of feel out, like, if you had to come up with it, what do you think would be the consequences of a real person and their real body in the dream world? Like, I can't even begin to guess what would happen. Maybe you die in real life. The problem is you're in the dream world. Your body is there. There is no real world self for you to die as, because Nem's real body is in the dream world. So there is no... That is her real life self. So what does it mean? Like, what does it mean? So it doesn't like really click, right? Like something about that is just, I don't know. There's something about it that I feel like there's some sort of consequence, right? And also with the way this spy war is like playing out, it kind of raises a question about Nem's possible empowerment as a writer in the future. Right? Because you did calculate a 3-parter on your radar. That's fair. Because this felt like it was too big of a deal to end on a 2, right? The way I see it, though, the way I look at this is, what does it mean? You know, like, the way I look at it is because she obviously has to get the belts from somewhere. Unless a third spy organization shows up, I don't see how Nem could get the belt. They did start setting it up, though. Remember how, like, Seven was saying that Nem could have her own powers? I feel like that is setting up for something. I feel like that is setting up for something that could quite possibly change, like, the way we're thinking of how these powers work, how the nightmares work. Like, made entirely of her dreams? Okay, I'm looking at it right now. That's where they get shot up against the wall. Yeah, the doors just open up. But, like, the monster himself doesn't show any body language of showing that shot. He literally just stands there with his arms at his side. So, I don't think he was the one who fired the shot. He just stood there in the same position. So, like, someone else shot those beams. Who was it? I got my money on 3. Right? Because if you want me to be, like, perfectly honest, this could be a ploy by 3 to curry favor in the organization. Right? That's my theory on it. Because I find it very odd that, again, those beams came out of nowhere, pinned them up against the wall, but it didn't come from the nightmare. So then who did it? Because Nox was still dealing with 5 and 6. So unless it was either that Dark Lady, it was probably 3 setting up a ploy. Right? And I doubt that lady would get directly involved because she doesn't strike me as... She strikes me more as the puppet master than she would actually getting physically involved. So, by that logic, that only leaves one person who could have done it. And if we're going on under Nox's assumption that there's something wrong in the ranks of code, then it could point to definitely to 3 being the one who pinned them against the wall so they could pin the failure on 7, make him a scapegoat. They solve the situation, and then 3 literally like kind of cements his power in code. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely feels that way, doesn't it? I feel like this is like a ploy, like he's going to make use of the fact that, like, Nox and that lady are trying to destroy everything to kind of, like, further his own agenda, right? It's like, so the way I see it is they're definitely setting up something, but at the same time, 7 is all kind of set up that Nem is going to get her own powers. Now, whether you want to believe that that little Melina stunt that she pulled was either part of the game mechanics of the dream, or that was her actually finding her latent power. I don't know. Like, I can't really say for certain, because it's too early to make that call, right? You could kind of make it as a one-off, like maybe that was like a game attack. Like, you can kind of make that, like, justification. But for the most part, like, it could be also the start of something if she can pull it off again in another dream, right? So if there's another dream and Nem starts pulling that kind of shit, that means that she's starting to awaken her dream power, which could, in fact, lead to her becoming a writer, right? It definitely feels like it's leaning that way. So she herself could grant herself that power, because remember, this is a Takahashi joint. This is a Takahashi joint. So ultimately, she is a Deus Ex Machina. Nem is our Deus Ex Machina. So ultimately, she would be able to have power. She would be able to give herself that power. Because you can't go a whole Takahashi creation without her, without the female lead being what is ultimately the deciding factor in the war. So by that logic, she could become a writer and very much could be sacrificing herself near the end of the show. Know what I mean? Wait, hold on. I just noticed something about what is possibly Zet's new form. Oh, the belt changes. Okay, that's interesting. I thought it looked like he had a version of Nox's belt, but instead, his belt itself is evolving. And by the look of the preview, yeah, Kuroha looks like she's dying. Looks like she's going to give herself to the cause. So, yeah. That is ultimately, it's a super capsum. But yeah, it causes the belt itself to change, which I think is pretty cool. Because she's taking damage and it looks like she's falling, so she could be either severely injured or this is where she dies. This is her last stand, so that's going to be crazy. Dane, you haven't been watching Kamen Rider like for a long time, have you? Like, have you have not been watching Kamen Rider for long, have you? Let me let you in on a little secret, my guy. Kamen Rider gets dark every season. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. Even when it looks bright and colorful and it goes to the kids, time goes along, that shit gets dark fast. Gav is literally the perfect example. We thought there was going to be this playful little, cheery little Kamen Rider. No, it gets fucked up really fast. Like, literally, maybe almost 1/4 of the way in, it starts getting darker and darker as time goes along. Kamen Rider gets dark super fast. Okay, Dane, not a good metric because Shin came out a long time ago. Yes, it is dark, but it came out a long time ago. Every season gets a varying level of dark, and if we're already getting this dark at this point, this shit's going to get darker really fast. Especially considering we've already delved into the fact that these secret agents were psyoped into it. The dream training, bro, that's a psyop. 100% psychological operation to train these agents. It's a total psyop. So now we're looking at brainwashing. We're probably going to start looking into gaslighting later. Mental manipulation. Like, this is going to get darker. Like, if you need a crash course in how dark Kamen Rider can get, I'm going to need you to sit down and watch Amazons and Black Sun. That shit is literally dark off the rip. If you need a crash course, if you got time, then you need to sit everything from Kuga down to now. It gets dark. Every season has a dark point. You thought Gav was nightmare fuel? I wouldn't be surprised if they do the crossover movie and they explain it like that. Yeah, you get bad dreams from eating too much candy. Because I think I've heard that one before. Not in Kamen Rider lore, just in general. You eat too much candy, you're gonna have bad dreams. And to be fair, there's truth to that. I've had bad dreams eating a whole pizza and then going to sleep. Like, dear God, I've had nightmares over that shit. I don't know why. But yeah, ultimately that is where we're at right now. Like, they have set up so much in this episode. They've set up already, the world's gonna go to shit. They've set up that pretty much Baku is gonna be operating, he's gonna be disavowed. That's the feeling. That he's gonna be disavowed. Nem might be finding her latent powers and maybe become a Kamen Rider. Overall, hopefully we're gonna find out what this lady's whole fucking plan is. But at the same time, we're gonna be we're gonna be seeing a new power up, and ultimately they are setting up so much. And Booster was the world's most useless power up. In what case? Because here's the thing: Booster came in handy for that one battle with Nox, and it helped bring his motorcycle back to life. So it has its uses, but oddly enough, the fact that he hasn't used it since is super weird. Which I will agree with you, it's more useless. But you said Booster, and my brain immediately went to Axel Booster, and I'm like, that is not a useless power-up at all. It doesn't stand out, it just looks like a recolor of the main armor, But Booster is not a useless power-up in Axel's case. But yeah, you meant this one. I get you. But I feel like it's going to come into play with his new power-up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Booster is the catalyst to his new mid-season power-up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if it's the catalyst. Is a fusion. It could be a fusion of Impact and Booster. Like a full fusion. Right? That's what it could be. Or, you know what? If that Super Capsum allows him to have... Because by the look of it, from what I could distinguish, the new belt, I think, had 3 Capsum slots. I think it genuinely had 3 Capsum slots. So you could slap in, like, the new one. You slap in Booster, and then you slap in whichever one you want. That's what I think they're going to do with that. That's my thought process. I didn't see if the 3 circles... Like, the new ones had the space for Capsums. He has a minigun. Wow. Okay, you have my attention. Goddamn. He has my attention. You have my attention. You had me at minigun. Minigun. Now we're talking. All right. I think it's time to start wrapping up the show, guys. But big thing tomorrow. We're going to start it a little earlier. Tomorrow... 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, we are sending off Super Sentai with the final episode of number 1 Sentai Gozyuger. And we're going to take a look back at the legacy that was Super Sentai and just remember it for what it was, because it's the end of an era tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Well, technically tonight in Japan, it was already the end of an era. But for us, for the Gozyudan, tomorrow is the end of an era. It's not unusual, Scruff. It's not unusual. There have been Sentai seasons that have ended on odd numbers before. There are Sentai seasons that have ended on odd numbers before, so this is not unusual. Though, they missed the opportunity of doing 50 episodes for the 50th anniversary. Another way those fucking writers dropped the ball. But I think the way they're doing it is that episode... Well, actually, no, because they already confirmed that the Gozyugers in the Gozyuger Boom Boonger crossover movie are going to be alternate reality versions of themselves. So, yeah, but it would have made more sense if they just tied it in with the crossover episode to be like the be-all, end-all. Like they did with Decade and Double. You know, but I don't think that's what's going to happen, but it is what it is. But regardless, tomorrow we celebrate the end of an era. We celebrate the end of Super Sentai. Ultimately, we're also going to give Gozyuger a final rating because y'all remember I did a tier list way back when, so we're going to give it the rating it deserves and give you just an overall review of the show. But that is tomorrow. We're starting an hour early. We're going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, and then from there we are going to just look back. It's going to be our final episode, the final episode of number 1 Sentai Gozyudan. We're going to be rounding it out. So I hope you guys will join me for that tomorrow. And then next week, we await the announcement for Gavan Infinity. Hopefully, we're getting a simulcast. We cross our fingers and hope to God that we get it. I don't know if we are because it's been very silent on that front. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we're getting a simulcast. Because then that means that the number 1 Sentai, this would be our last episode of the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan, and next week, if they're doing a back-to-back simulcast, then that would mean it is the return of the superhero ZEZTZ-udan. Because it's superhero time. So hopefully, guys, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to mark this episode as the finale in the playlist until we get confirmation on the streaming. Otherwise, if we do get a confirmation that they are going to be streaming back-to-back, then, in fact, we will bring back the superhero ZEZTZ-udan. But on that note, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I love doing this show every week. I love having discussions with y'all about this show because it's just been a blast from beginning to end. We've been here. We've been loyal. We've been speculative speculative as fuck. And I love that about the show, that we can throw ideas back and forth. And it helps that we have a great show that triggers that in us. Whereas Gozyuger destroyed our mental psyches, ZETZ gave us something to look forward to. It gave us the narrative. It gave us the want to decipher what's going on. It's rewarding fans for watching it, and I love it. So tomorrow is going to be a very happy day because I no longer have to watch Gozyuger after tomorrow. But still, I hope, and I'm crossing my fingers, I hope that Metal Heroes can do as well as ZETZ. I hope. And I hope that means that we're getting writers that care, that want the debut of Metal Heroes, of the return of Metal Heroes, to be stellar. I can only hope, so fingers crossed, everyone. Fingers crossed. On that note, guys, I'm getting the hell out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. Potentially the final one, depending on what's going to happen with the simulcast for Metal Heroes. If not, then I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode of the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. But if we are getting a back-to-back simulcast, I will see you guys next week for the first episode, the first official episode of the Superhero ZEZTZ-udan. You saw that Huma Gears have... Emo Gear? Did you mean to say Huma Gears? Or is that something from Gavan Infinity that I'm not getting? Is that something from the Gavan? I didn't see it. Then again, I'm not exactly looking for that in my Tokusatsu, so not exactly looking for that. So it would probably gone by my periph. But anyway, that'll do it for tonight for the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. I hope you guys enjoyed. On YouTube, I must say goodbye. On Twitch, let's go ahead and raid out. Let's go ahead and find someone real quick alike. Let's see. Who's doing fun stuff? Just, let's see. Who is doing things? Who is doing the things? You know what? Let's go ahead and raid into VTuber Talk. They're having their nice little interview. I haven't seen VTuber Talk around in a minute, so let's just go ahead and raid them. Let's go ahead and take care of that. All right. With that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. I will see you guys tomorrow for the finale of Gozyuger and the #1 Sentai Gozyudan, but overall for the end of Super Sentai as we know it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay sexy, stay awesome, but overall remember that the future is yours and yours alone. That only you can seize it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, take it easy. I love y'all. Peace out.